to go grab some water. I want you to keep doing your reps, okay? I'll be back.
Okay. This is so difficult. I wish there was an easier way.
You should try a weightlifting belt.
Who are you?
I am Dr. Power, a huge supporter of weightlifting belts. Did you know that with a weightlifting belt you can reduce spinal compression and increase intra-abdominal pressure, which will make lifting heavier weights easier?
Wow, maybe I should get one.
Maybe you should.
Don't listen to him,
Captain Hexplate.
Dr. Power. Weightlifting belts are evil. They make you think you can lift more than you can and you hurt yourself.
No, don't listen to her. She's a liar.
He's a liar.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Hey, Betty, don't you remember what the professor said in class the other day?
All right, class. So today we're talking about weightlifting belts. They're these belts that you use when you're lifting weights. Go figure. So go ahead and talk about the pros.
So, some pros to using the weightlifting belt include the fact that they do increase intra-abdominal pressure, which means the pressure in your abdominal cavity is increased when you're lifting the weights. It artificially engages the ab muscles and your lower back muscles so that you don't have to worry about that when you're trying to max out. All you have to focus on is your arms and your legs when you're lifting the weights. That makes it easier for you to lift, which might give you a sense of confidence that you wouldn't have had without the belt. This sense of confidence can often lead to you being able to lift more than you previously would have. Also, the increased intra-abdominal pressure automatically allows your body to physically lift more than it previously would have without the aid of a lifting belt. Another pro that comes with using a weightlifting belt is that it does provide some support to the lumbar vertebrae. As you can see in the drawing, your spinal column is very fragile, but with the use of this belt, it is protected to an extent, which leads us to our cons.
The weightlifting belt does not protect your back. All it does is provide some support, but it only works when you have a good form. So if you're bending over, it does nothing for you. You have to use the correct form. And it can only be used when you're using your 1 rep max. Any other time, it doesn't really do anything for you. It does provide a sense of confidence, but it's false. If you were to take off the weightlifting belt, you could just as easily lose that sense of confidence or lose that support that you had with the weightlifting belt. And then you could possibly hurt yourself, which increases your potential risk of injuries. So you have to make sure that you're only using it at the right times. Those right times are when you're trying to max out, when you're using good form, and your 1 rep max only. Any other time, the weightlifting belt is not going to help you.
Does anyone have any questions?
Do you have any facts to back this up?
As a matter of fact, we do have some facts that you can actually look up on your own on the internet. One reputable site that you could look up would be the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. According to this website, back injuries account for nearly 20% of all injury and illnesses in the workplace. A lot of times it's from just heavy lifting and being unprotected and using bad form when lifting heavy objects. Currently in the workplace, they have found that back belts are worn by most workers in many different kinds of industries. It also records the names of different back belts as back supporters, abdominal belts, and weightlifting belts. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of research, according to this website, that can support or refute the effectiveness of the belt in a workplace setting, or just in general, because it's not specified towards the 1 rep max. They're using it as day-to-day usage. And in addition to that, this website found, like we discussed earlier, the fact that they have a false sense of confidence because they feel they're protected by the belt. So they wind up lifting more than they can handle and causing serious injury to themselves.
Right, and I know that website actually published that article in June of 2014, so it's very recent, even though they say There's not a whole lot of information out there, so just be careful. Another resource that we have found is on PubMed. The article is titled Effect of a Stiff Lifting Belt on Spine Compression During Lifting. And they actually did an experiment and had 9 experienced weightlifters lifting barbells up to 75% of their body weight while inhaling and wearing a belt, inhaling and not wearing a belt, and exhaling while wearing a belt. And the results were that they found that the belt reduced spinal compression by only 10%, but only when inhaling while lifting. Their conclusion was that wearing a tight and stiff back belt while inhaling before lifting reduces spine loading, and this is caused by a moment generated by the belt rather than by the IAP. So it doesn't really do all that much other than reduce spinal compression by only about 10%.
All of this to say, to answer your question, there are facts out there by reputable sources that support the effectiveness of a weightlifting belt within the proper parameters. So just be careful, use only for your 1 rep max, use correct form, and happy lifting.
Alright guys, well that's it. Have a great rest of your day.
Betty, do you remember now?
I do. So basically, we should only use the belt when maxing out. But I'm not doing that right now, so I guess I shouldn't use it.
It sounds like you got it.
I do. Thanks, guys. I really learned a lot today.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's go work out!